You disgust me. You are lazy, hopeless, and you'll never change. You're too fat anyway. Why would anyone want you? I asked women to share the worst things they said about their bodies, and this is what they told me. This could be your sister or your friend, or maybe it's you. Your inner critic is a thought bully, and it can make you feel unworthy just for how you look. And it probably started years ago. There's an 80% chance that by the time you were 15 years old, you already hated your body. You probably tried your first diet by the age of 10, and you were regularly skipping meals to lose weight. You were more afraid of weight gain than getting cancer or losing your parents. And for some of you, body image problems could have started as young as age 3. Now, I know that last one could be a difficult number to believe. I have a 4-year-old, and she loves her body. I can't imagine her distrusting it so early in life. But the fact is, body dissatisfaction happens far too young and for no good reason. This struggle is practically our destiny, not because of our DNA, but because we have been conditioned to believe that our bodies are problems. In our culture, you better hope that you fit the narrow criteria for weight and shape, or you'll be excluded. We see this play out with kids, where 12 to 14-year-olds in larger bodies are teased by their peers and even their own family members. In the workplace, competence and intelligence is judged based on weight. And for women, the discrimination can start at a size 14. Well, 67% of American women are a size 14 or higher. This weight stigma hurts everyone. Throughout our lives, our minds absorb negative messages from our environment, and our inner critic flourishes unchallenged until it just becomes the voice of who we are. And this can lower our self-esteem and get in the way of us accomplishing goals. I learned how to body bash as a teenager. The magazines were great teachers, and I was the eager student, always trying to fix my body. And page by glossy page, I was told this is what health looks like. So I followed the advice. As if secrets to looking hot in your bikini is really the most important thing a young girl should worry about. I spent most of my life struggling with a mind that was diseased, where food was celebrated when I didn't eat it or diligently burned it off with exercise, where the scale often dictated my mood, and it was the number on the inside of my pants, not my unique qualities, that determined my value. I was able to hide my pain, and ironically, I was often congratulated for my so-called healthy lifestyle. But this unhealthy mindset followed me through college and even early in my career as a registered dietitian and fitness expert, a field I entered with the goal to help people get healthy. But several years ago, if you came to see me in my weight management practice, it would have went like this. Hello, here's your armband. Now don't take this off. I'm gonna know what you're eating, how much exercise you're getting, when you're sleeping, and I'll probably be able to figure out when you're having sex too. Thanks for your money. I'll be watching you. Now, who can guess how well that really went over for me? The truth is, they ate it up at first. I mean, I was gonna save them from their hopeless bodies, and they were willing to do whatever it took. The only problem is, it didn't work. Instead of trust, there was shame. Instead of empathy, there was guilt. My focus on weight loss did not help my clients improve their health and create better habits, but their inner critics sure got stronger. Every pound not lost was just a reason to berate themselves a little bit more. And even when I tried to help them take an optimistic view, it didn't matter because they were there to lose weight. which I would later learn was much more about becoming accepted by society. When I finally woke to the idea that I was failing my clients, I became fully committed to figuring out what was really going on. And I learned that my whole scheme was a side effect of a much more insidious problem: diet culture. A system built on the idea that you aren't good enough unless you're trying to lose weight, where food is a moral issue, individually good or bad, depending on some obscure criteria, and that bodies are judged as healthy or not based on their degree of fatness, not facts. Diet culture has been gaslighting us for decades, secretly feeding our inner critics and keeping us stuck in a game that we can't win. Diet culture tells us if we follow the rules, we will lose weight and we will get healthier. But the opposite is actually true. Dieting is associated with increased anxiety, depression, eating disorders, and weight gain. You see, the more times a person diets, the higher their body mass index is likely to climb. We have to create larger calorie deficits by restricting food intake and increasing exercise just to keep up with the weight loss trend. But the body fights back. It slows down metabolism and increases hunger and appetite, all the while driving a dieter mad with intense food cravings and urges to eat more quickly and larger volumes of food than before the diet. This isn't health, you guys. This is body oppression, because there's only room for one type of body, and it doesn't matter how bad you treat it, as long as you're making it smaller. And the worst part is the mounting evidence that shows most people don't keep weight loss off in the long term, and those who do don't live any longer than those who never put their bodies through the stress of dieting in the first place. Enough. We have got to ask ourselves, why are we selling weight loss programs as health solutions? Why are we even treating weight like it's the problem? We've got to get serious about real health and think outside of the body weight as a sign of our success. We need to see the inner critic for what it really is, just a bunch of unhelpful words put inside our minds that's getting in the way of our progress. And we need to cultivate a new voice that can help liberate us from diet culture. And that voice is our inner caregiver. The inner caregiver is born out of the desire to be good to yourself. And that is where the magic of change happens. You can't hate yourself healthy. But with kindness, you can create a better life at any size. Think of your caregiver like your best friend who magically got inside your mind and is helping you make choices that put your well-being first. So you do the workout without criticizing your performance. You find joy in cooking healthy food, but instead of fretting over calories, you realize that a little butter and a little salt can transform the taste of vegetables. It's not a punishment to eat them anymore. Or you simply just realize that it is so much better when you don't bully yourself. Your inner caregiver is going to help you enjoy your life as it is now without waiting for permission from somebody else. So you say yes to posing in the picture. You wear your bathing suit at the beach without always trying to cover it up. And you learn to enjoy your life as it is today. No matter how strong your inner critic is, you can cultivate a powerful caregiver. So here's what you do. First, you want to create the kind of space that's welcoming to a caregiver. Now, anything diet is really just going to be an inner critic lurking in the corner, waiting to throw an insult at you. So, what you're going to do instead is grab a trash bag and just start throwing away and cleansing your life anything that reminds you of a diet. That is pretty much the only detox I can get behind 100%. Then what you're gonna do is listen for that caregiver voice, and you might not hear it right away. You might wanna put a little positive quote or family photo in places where critics lurk, like a bathroom mirror or where you get dressed. One of my clients actually had a bracelet engraved with WWRD for what would Rebecca do? Because she said, I just don't have a caregiver voice, but if I think about you, then I always know the right thing to do. So whose voice could you cultivate? Next, you're gonna make choices that fit you best. Think about what brings you joy and do those things. Who cares what's in the headlines? Don't pay attention to what your friends are doing. The more you focus on other people, the less you're going to be thinking about what matters to you. Now, I know that's not specific enough for most people, and they really want to know, if I'm not going to diet, what can I do to be healthy? So I do have a few tips for that. Number one, science says that if you want to live a long time, it's more important to move your body than lose weight. So get some exercise. If you smoke, quit. It is a good idea to know your lab values. So go see a doctor, get your blood pressure and your cholesterol, but try to find someone who's not going to body shame you into a weight loss diet. Believe it or not, loneliness is worse for you than a cupcake. So make time in your life to go have fun and socialize with your friends. And yes, eat well. Balance out your plate with wholesome foods most of the time. But you don't have to go to extremes, and you don't have to give up foods you love. Savor whatever is on your plate to maximize your enjoyment. When you do these things, your mood and energy spiral up, and so does your well-being, and then your weight is just your weight. Imagine if we all created our inner caregiver. We'd all be stronger individuals, building stronger communities and stronger families, and we could use this power to create even bigger change, because it is not enough to learn to survive in diet culture. We need to dismantle it, and that's going to take some serious work. For one, economics. There's a $55 billion diet and weight loss industry that profits off our own insecurity. We also need to fight weight stigma. A person's body size should be no reason to put them down, ever. And we need to represent size diversity everywhere. We cannot love what we don't see, and we need to see more bodies in a positive light, all shapes and sizes. I sometimes wonder, what if I had been taught that all bodies deserve respect, that fat was not bad, and you can't tell anything about a person's health by looking at them? I can't help but believe that I would have been happier, I would have had less suffering, and I would have caused less harm to my clients. But I can't get sad about the past because there's nothing I can do to change it. I just know I don't get to repeat today. And today, I feel so much more free than the younger version of myself. And while I'm truly grateful for healing my mind and body connection, I know that I am not truly free. Because none of us can be free until we make space for all bodies to be free. In the words of Desmond Tutu, my humanity is bound in yours, for we can only be human together. I imagine a world where we can all find peace and happiness in our current bodies. And when it comes to health, we pursue it with kindness. My liberation from diet culture began the day my inner critic said to me, "You are too short, too chunky, and you do not look like the after picture. Who would ever trust your advice?" And I took a deep breath and said, "I love you. Thank you."